With so many 90s movies, we're doing 1990 to 1994. Hey homies, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Haley. I run the Always in Wonderland blog at alwaysinwonderland.com, and today we're doing Disney movies through the decades. We're in the 90s. However, there are so many movies through the 90s that my last two videos have already been over an hour long, and this one would be a 3-hour video if I just went all the way through. There are so many. So today we're going to break this apart. We won't get a highest grossing movie in this first part. I'll just leave that for the second part, and I apologize. But today, let's go through 1990 to 1994. Also, much like the Touchstone add-in in the last iteration of this, there is Hollywood Pictures. It also is always been owned by the Disney company and is similar to Touchstone, but was just another avenue for Disney to like label and market movies under. So great. I'm learning a lot, actually, and that contributes to there being so many movies. I've got my phone, I've got my notepad. I needed caffeine today. If you're watching my other videos, like, you know, I needed the caffeine. I don't know. I'm trying really hard not to get back on a caffeine. I haven't drank caffeine since I was like 23, truly. Like, consistently. And I'm trying not to do that now. Once a week, I think, is fine. The older I get, the more I feel like I need it. Alright, let me get to where I'm supposed to be. Sorry about the squeaky chair. Willa is actually not crazy right now. She's napping. Ember's down here napping. Yeah, that's about it. So let's jump into it. Sorry about the squeaky chair. I'm going to situate myself here. All right, starting in 1990, a movie called Stella. Fiercely independent Stella, a wisecracking bartender, refuses to marry the doctor, Stephen Dallas, who gets her pregnant. There's a lot happening already. Instead, she decides to raise their daughter, Genie, single-handedly. Through the years, Stella and Genie share a special bond of friendship, but as Genie blooms into a precious young woman, Stella is confronted with the reality of their lower-class existence. I know the feeling. Realizing that Ginny's wealthy father could offer Genie a much better life, Stella decides to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to give her daughter the life she never had. It doesn't tell me what Stella does, but she sounds like a good mama. Also, Bette Midler. If you watched the last video, I don't have to say anything else. Next film is Where the Heart Is. Demolition contractor Stuart McBrien's 3 spoiled children have grown up in the lap of luxury and are none too anxious to leave their extravagant lifestyle. I can't say I blame them. I'm trying to find my extravagant lifestyle, and I won't leave it once I find it. But McBain is determined to teach them a lesson in self-sufficiency, so he turns them out of the family home. Forced to live in a dilapidated Brooklyn tenement, the siblings struggle to survive. When McBain's business goes under, he must move in with his children, and together they learn lessons on where their real family values lie. It sounds like it's a feel-good movie, but it's like everyone's just being mean to everybody, and like everyone's like, no, you're not mooching off me, go get your own. And then it's like, I lost it all, help me. It's by the way, that was a Touchstone film, and it was rated R. Forgot to add that in. Also, Stella's a Touchstone film. I'm gonna be better now. I'm on it. All right, a Touchstone film also rated R is Pretty Woman. If you've been living under a rock, you haven't seen this movie, or if you're too young, you haven't seen this movie. I could see why. It says corporate mogul Edward Lewis finds himself in Los Angeles and needing a female companion for some business get-togethers. When a chance encounter on here. Do we prefer the term sex worker? I'm reading it. Here we are. Vivian brings them together. Edward offers her a job for a week, promising a $3,000 fee. His friendly takeover of her life introduces Vivian to a fantasy world of power and privilege, and thanks to Edward's extravagance, her natural charm and grace emerge. Edward is soon captivated by his prized Cinderella, and romance comes out of what was purely a business arrangement. Can we just talk about like how breathtaking Julia Roberts is? Can we just sprinkle that in real quick? Gorgeous. Through this entire gorgeous. Moving on. Another touchstone picture. Ernest goes to jail. If you watched the last video, you know how I feel about Jim Varney. I love him. Soft spot in my heart for Jim Varney. When a lovable but inept Ernest P. Worrell becomes a juror on a murder trial, the scheming defendant notices that Ernest is a dead ringer for jailed crime boss Felix Nash. A plot is quickly hatched to switch the two lookalikes, and soon Ernest finds himself in jail while a notorious double sneaks away to freedom, taking over Ernest's job as a night janitor in a bank. You can imagine a criminal as a night janitor in a bank is probably not going to be the safest setup. But, like, come on. Jim Varney. It's Ernest. If you haven't seen any of the Ernest movies, please go watch them. Please go watch them. They're great movies. Another touchstone movie, Space Invaders. On Halloween, a group of Martians intercept a 50th anniversary rebroadcast of Orson Welles' dramatic War of the Worlds and misinterpret it as their cue to attack Earth. Please don't do that. Thank you. The small town of Big Bean, Illinois, happens to be their destination. 10-year-old resident Kathy Hoxley, I'm going to say Hoxley, is unfazed by the pint-sized invaders, and with the help of their friend Brian, her father, and old man Wrenchmuller, what a name, she rescues the Martians from a frenzied posse of townsfolk, saves the Earth from the aliens' blitz, and helps blast the visitors back to their planet. I think it sounds like a fun movie. I've never seen it. There's a lot of these I haven't seen. I'm not going to say that the whole time because it would literally be most of these I haven't seen, but I haven't seen. But it sounds cute. Next movie, also touchstone, called Firebirds. Jake Preston and Billy Lee Guthrie are pilots in an elite Army helicopter task force flying the high-tech Apache helicopter, the Army's most advanced fighting machine. Sorry, they put flying and fighting together and my brain couldn't handle it. Just how far the choppers and their crew can go is put to the test when the Apache task force is assigned to complete a secret mission in Latin America. Infiltrating hostile territory to do combat with an international enemy, the seemingly fearless flyers soon discover they are fighting a desperate war both on the ground and in the sky. It sounds like an intense military war movie, and if you're into that, it's probably great. Hang on. Phone call. Be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I really don't have like a set film schedule, so nobody knows when I'm filming and when I'm not. So, people just call when they need me. So, let's move on. Next movie, Dick Tracy. Legendary police detective Dick Tracy is the only man tough enough to take on gangster boss Big Boy Caprice and his band of menacing mobsters. Big Boy Caprice. That's a rap name for sure. If you are a rapper, I'm just saying. Dedicated to his work, but at the same time devoted to his loyal girlfriend, Tess Trueheart, Tracy finds himself torn between love and duty. His relentless crusade against crime becomes even more difficult when he gets saddled with an engaging orphan and meets seductive and sultry Breathless Mahoney, a torch singer determined to get the best of Tracy. A faceless character, the Blank threatens both Tracy and Big Boy, and it takes all of Tracy's skills to save the city. Certain things I really wonder why I've never seen them. This is one of them. I feel like I'd be into that, That could be a wild and fun ride. Just saying. Alright, next movie. Betsy's Wedding. Betsy, we don't know. Eddie Hopper is determined to give his daughter Betsy a fantastic wedding with all the trimmings. Unfortunately, Betsy doesn't want a big wedding. Overextended financially and emotionally, Eddie finds the two families battling, with everyone pushing for their own favorite traditions, and in the ceremony, I am very confused. Hang on. Eddie finds the two families battling, with everyone pushing for their own favorite traditions, and in the ceremony. Does that make sense to anybody else? Not just me, right? To make things worse, he gets into a questionable business deal with a scrupulous Our unscrupulous brother-in-law. Everyone finds their lives changing as the pressure of the wedding mount. This is giving me stress already. Like, I have seen bits and pieces of this, but I can't actually sit there and watch it. It freaks me out. It's a film called Arachnophobia. It's by Hollywood Pictures. It's rated R. And it says, fed up with the frustrations of big city living, Dr. Ross Jennings moves his wife and 2 kids to a sleepy community of Kanaima? I don't know what this word is. I'll put it on screen. California. They soon learn that they are not the only recent arrivals. Jennings discovers a deadly spider accidentally imported from the Amazon jungle that has mated and set thousands of offspring loose on the unsuspecting populace. Teamed up with the exterminator Delbert McClintock, Jennings is forced to confront his past in the spine-tingling showdown. I'm off put. I don't want any part in this. Moving on. DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. That's something I could mess with, you know? Scrooge McDuck travels to the far ends of the earth in search of the elusive buried treasure of legendary thief Kali Baba. With his companions Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Webby, and Launchpad McQuack, Scrooge discovers not only the treasure, but also that there's a mysterious madman named Murloc, it's always a Murloc, who is out to stop him. The travelers have to return home empty-handed except for an old lamp. The kids find it is a magic lamp and discover a genie inside who grants their wishes. When Murloc and his henchmen, Dijon, like the mustard, I love it, return, it takes all of Scrooge's ingenuity to thwart them. Huey, Dewey, Louie, Scrooge, Launchpad. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Now, Hollywood Pictures, and it is a rated R, taking care of business. Petty criminal and Chicago Cubs fan Jimmy Dworsky has won tickets to the World Series. The only obstacle standing in his way is the game is scheduled for the day before he gets released on parole from prison. How did he win tickets in prison? Moving on. Scheming his way out early, he finds the lost daily planner of ultra-organized business executive Spencer Barnes, complete with credit cards, keys to a mansion, and everything he needs for an all-expenses-paid weekend of luxury. Spencer, meanwhile, is hopelessly lost without his organizer, not even being able to prove his identity, while Jimmy passes himself off as Spencer at important business meetings. After crossing paths and missing signals, the 2 men end up at the ball game together, having made discoveries about themselves. So you were in prison, you got out of prison because of ball tickets, you got out early, but then you steal somebody's stuff, and instead of finding him and giving it back, you use his stuff to your advantage. Okay. Next Touchstone picture, Mr. Destiny. Lacey Burrows is certain that his ultra-ordinary life is the direct result of losing his high school championship baseball game. We all know people like this. 20 years later, a mysterious stranger, Mr. Destiny, comes along with the power to alter Larry's past. Now, instead of being married to his high school sweetheart, he's a rich husband of prom queen Cindy Jo, father of 2 spoiled brats, president of the company, and owner of the biggest house in town. And everybody hates him. Realizing that toying with destiny can lead to grave complications, Larry strives to extricate himself from the predicament. Grass is not always greener on the other side, Larry. Also, anytime I read the word Larry or I see it, it makes me think of Don't Look Under the Bed. Here's Larry. Creepy. That is my favorite Disney Channel original movie. Don't Look Under the Bed. That's a great movie. It's also nightmare fuel. Great movie. I'm going to shift. Sorry. Oh, my legs fall asleep. I'm not really sure why. It's got to be a circulation issue. This is what happens when you get old, is what I'm learning. Like, the older I get, the more things I'm learning about myself. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. Next movie, Rescuers Down Under. This is a great movie. In Australia, the young Cody discovers that evil Percival McLeach has captured the magnificent eagle. Is it Marahut? Marahut? I forget, because I was a child when I watched this last. But he manages to set her free, only to be kidnapped himself, and later to see her recaptured. I mean, you know, the struggles. A frantic call for help goes out to the Rescue Aid Society, which sends the intrepid Bernard and Miss Bianca to help. They are aided by Wilbur from Albatros Airlines, I'm probably saying that wrong too, and in Australia are joined by Jake and frill-necked lizard Frank in trying to outwit McLeach and save the eagle. It's a cute movie. I have seen it. It's just been some time. But it's cute, and we love an animated flick. Next movie, it's a Touchstone movie, 3 Men and a Little Lady. I have seen bits and pieces of this because I have seen 3 Men and a Baby. But I never fully watched all the other sequels to this. A sequel to 3 Men and a Baby, taking up the story 5 years later with the 3 bachelors, Peter, Michael, and Jack, having settled into a comfortable, functioning household with the little girl Mary and her single mom, Sylvia. The 5-part harmony is shaken when Sylvia agrees to appear in a play in London directed by a man she has decided to marry and to take Mary with her to live there permanently. The 3 men soon discover how empty their lives are without Mary and go to great lengths to stop the wedding, bring Mary back to New York, and coincidentally find the perfect husband for Sylvia. It's a feel-good flick. It's actually really cute. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. In the last movie from 1990, this is why I said I had to break this up. We're just now at the end of 1990. It is called Green Card, and it is a Touchstone film. A mutual friend arranges a marriage of convenience for Frenchman George and Bronte Parrish, a native New Yorker. Bronte? I think it's Bronte. George needs a green card in order to remain in the United States, while Bronte, a horticulturist, has found the perfect apartment with a greenhouse, but is only available to a married couple. It's looking like a win-win if you're into that. After a swift legal ceremony, each getting what they want, they part with the intention of never seeing each other again. However, a government investigation brings them back together again. And despite initial irritation and incompatibility, the two begin to make some interesting discoveries about themselves and the nature of romance. I mean, romantic comedy? You know? Maybe it's a good movie. Doesn't sound like a bad movie. Alright, next movie. White Fang. A young adventurer, Jack Conroy, in the harsh wilderness of Alaska, along with Klondike prospector Alex Larson, come upon a wolf dog, White Fang, who has been raised by an Indian. White Fang, through deception, becomes the property of the devious Beauty Smith, who mistreats him. Just backhand her. Backhand. Jack rescues the animal and patiently begins to rebuild his spirit and trust. Jack learns the ways of wilderness as he and White Fang risk their lives for each other. I hate when something bad happens to an animal. You guys know how I feel, so don't love that. Will not be partaking in that. Moving on. Hollywood Pictures rated R. It's called Run. A carefree summer road trip turns into a living nightmare for a law school student, Charlie Farrow, when he accidentally kills the son of a notorious mobster. Not just the fact that you killed somebody, but like killed some part of the mob. Stranded in a small New England town, Charlie becomes the target both for the cold-blooded mob and the corrupt police force, and is on the run. There's also a corrupt police force. How do you win? I don't understand. With a single ally, Karen Landers, a pretty casino card dealer, Charlie struggles to stay one step ahead of his pursuers. Prosecutors is what he's going to face later. Yeah, I'd watch it. I had to think about it for a second, but I would. Oh, excuse me, sorry. This is where the caffeine comes in. Which, Let's get some of that really quick. Ugh, I apologize, friends. It's been a long week and it's not over. Anyway, next movie, Touchstone, rated R, Scenes from a Mall. A modern couple, it says she, Deborah, a successful psychologist who has recently written a best-selling book on marriage, and he, Nick, a high-powered sports lawyer, embark on their 16th wedding anniversary by going to the local mall for party supplies. Nick decides to put his wife's modern mating theories to the test by revealing that he has just ended a 6-month affair with a young woman. Deborah, shocked and hostile, parries with some equally astonishing revelations of her own. The twin true confessions lead to a major verbal battle until the underlying love the couple has for each other wins out. Hot take. 6-month affair? Maybe it's not such a hot take, but personally, like, we don't need to rekindle. You can leave. Pack it up. Like Beyonce said, to the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. Thank you. Next movie, it's called Shipwrecked. A 14-year-old, I think that says Hakinson. Creative parents. Bravely agrees to become a sailor in order to help pay his parents' debts. I understand you. But danger comes, I would never get on a ship. The water's not for me. But danger comes as Haken's ship is hijacked by a mysterious stranger, Merrick, who charts a course for the South Seas island where he has hidden a fortune and stolen treasure. Just share with me. That's all I'm saying. A fierce hurricane scuttles the ship. This is why I won't do ships. And Haken and a young stowaway girl, Mary, find themselves marooned on a tropical island paradise. Paradise, you say? The two must now face the unknown perils of the jungle and eventually the return of Merrick as he comes looking for his treasure and to take the young adventurers prisoner. Sounds like a pretty good adventure movie. I'd watch it. Next movie is called The Marrying Man. It's a Hollywood Pictures movie and it's rated R. During his bachelor party, Charlie Pearl meets and falls for sultry lounge singer Vicki Anderson, girlfriend of mobster Bugsy Siegel. Listen, if he's a mobster and his name is Bugsy, let it go. Move on. Move on. It's safer to move on. When the gangster catches the new lovebirds together, he forces them to marry at gunpoint, spoiling Charlie's wedding plans for his real fiancée, or with his real fiancée, Adele. I'm really sorry. Adele, you didn't need him. Baby girl. He's trifling. He's caught with another woman. I think that tells you that you don't need to marry that man. It was not agreed upon. His life then becomes a series of ups and downs as he and Vicky separate and remarry several times over the next 8 tumultuous years, wondering if they'll ever get it right. So, okay, you cheat on your fiancé whom you're supposed to marry with a lounge singer who is in a relationship with a mob boss. He forces you guys to marry at gunpoint. And then you spend the next 8 years marrying and divorcing the same woman. This is exhausting. No, thank you. I skip on this. Next movie is called Oscar. It's a Touchstone movie. And it's got Sylvester Stallone. It does. It does. I am taken aback. There's a Dolly Parton movie also. And when we get there, I will bring up Sylvester Stallone again. Because I want to bring them up together, you know. At his father's deathbed in 1931, notorious bootlegger Angelo snaps provolone. In a moment of his remorse, agrees to his father's plea and gives up his shameful life, becoming an honest man, and restores his family's name to honor. The bewildered Snaps, that's his nickname, Snaps, tries to go straight, but his new image is far too fantastic for either the cops or new, easily bribed banker friends. Things are not helped by Snap's surroundings, a madhouse of particular characters and relatives. Mistaken identities and misplaced suitcases all help add up to a day full of surprises, from the former gangster. Doesn't Sylvester Stallone look like the perfect, like, mob gangster? Yeah, I'd watch that, no problem. No problem. Next, it's a Hollywood Pictures movie, and it's rated R. It's called One Good Cop. New York Police Lieutenant Artie, that's a great name, Lewis faces a major dilemma in his life when his longtime partner, Stevie Doroma, is killed in the line of duty. Poor Stevie. Artie and his wife Rita take in Stevie's 3 orphan daughters, but cannot make ends meet on a cop's salary. He soon finds himself straddling a fine line between his ethical code as a good cop or the temptation of the corrupt ways of the street in order to keep his suddenly enlarged family together. Well, he was just doing his best for them kiddos, you know, he was just trying to be a good person. Also, it's Michael Keaton, and I love Michael Keaton. Beetlejuice. Thank you. He didn't show up, but I'm just saying. I love Michael Keaton, so while that's not necessarily like my kind of movie, sounds like it would be good. Next movie, it's a Touchstone movie. It's What About Bob? What about him? Saddled with a multitude of phobias, quirky Bob Wiley enlists the help of sane and sensible psychiatrist Dr. Leo Marvin. Leo's a great name. But Leo soon discovers that he does not want to be the new best friend of his obsessive-compulsive patient. Skipping town for a restful summer holiday with his family, Leo is dismayed when the panicked Bob tracks down the family's private vacation hideaway and insinuates himself into their lives. You let him find you. That's creepy. The family comes to adore the guest who won't leave, all except Leo, who's driven frantic to the point where one wonders who is really the crazy one. Because my channel is pretty PG, PG-13. I don't know if I said anything I don't know, but it's Bill frickin' Murray, okay? I love me some Bill Murray. Switching again. Especially like Zombieland. Zombieland with oh my god, Woody Harrelson. Yeah. It's Bill frickin' Murray. Sorry, I know it's not your middle name. So it's got Bill Murray in it, and I would 100% watch that. Moving on. I'm trying to keep it going. Can you tell? I'm really trying my best. Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. I looked at the cover of this, and it's not going to be for me. During the Depression, Sonora Webster, growing up in rural Georgia, longs for more excitement. With the stubborn confidence of a young woman determined to prove she can do anything she sets her mind to, Sonora answers a newspaper ad for a diving girl, one who leaps astride a horse from a 40-foot tower platform into a tank of water. You lost me at on a horse, 40-foot tank of water. Not for me. Despite early rejection by the owner of the traveling stunt show, W.F. Carver, Sonora sets out to prove she has star quality. Despite setbacks, including sudden blindness, Sonora's spirit and determination make her a legendary attraction at Atlantic City's Steel Pier. It's like a feel-good movie of like determination and overcoming. Stressing me out, just the thought of it, so not for me. But yeah, moving on. The Rocketeer. In 1938, a young air racing pilot, Cliff Secord, I think it says Secord, and his partner, Peavy, discover a secret rocket pack that enables a man to fly. We're all really working on that stuff, though, aren't we? Like, jetpacks and things. We got, like, water packs now, and people be body slamming themselves in the lake. Those are always fun videos to watch. They quickly become entangled in international intrigue in their attempts to keep the device away from Nazi spies and other villains, including Hollywood matinee idol Neville Sinclair. Neville's also a great name. With the help of his actress girlfriend, Ginny Blake, Cliff, dubbed the Rocketeer by the press, embarks on a mission that could alter the course of history and make him a true hero. As long as you're using your powers for good, homie. Like, we're cool there. You know? Just saying. Alright. Next film. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the right year still. I don't think we've gone off track yet. We're doing great. Touchstone, it's called The Doctor. A successful surgeon, Dr. Jack McKee. McKee? I'm going to say McKee. Lacks one vital trait, true compassion for the patients under his care. As somebody who works and deals with people all day long, it doesn't work that way. If you don't have that, you're not really good at that job. Nurses, medical assistants, doctors, compassion. You really have to, patience and compassion. These are the two things you need for that job. So, not great. Suddenly faced with throat cancer, I immediately became uncomfortable. He becomes an ordinary patient in his own hospital and finds he has to deal with the red tape and dehumanizing conditions experienced by everyone else. It's a hard truth. Unable to relate to his wife and young son, he meets June, a fellow patient with extraordinary strength and spirit who is the catalyst for his own recovery, as well as the realization that a healer must be able to attend the spirit as well as the body. You could be a great doctor, but you got to be attentive. Pay attention to your patients and just be nice. Give them the time of day. Even if you're running behind on schedule. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? Moving on. Okay, I'm going to try to say this. I practiced some at midnight last night, but V.I. Warshawski. I'm trying my best. A tough-talking, fiercely independent female private investigator, heck yeah, with a weakness for pretty shoes. I just bought 2 new pairs of shoes. Got them on sale. 2 pairs of sneaks for $67. Free shipping. Just saying. Find a deal out there. They're Pumas. I love Pumas. Anyway, back to this. I'm gonna say VI because I clearly can't say the other part. Is often forced to play hardball with Chicago's crime element. When her new flame, ex-hockey player Boom Boom Grafalk, turns up murdered. Oh, good God. I'm sorry. I laughed at the name. I couldn't even get it out. His 13-year-old daughter, Kat, hires VI to find her father's killer. She soon uncovers a startling conspiracy for murder and money. Sounds like a cool little detective film, and I like it. Also, she likes pretty shoes. I'm here for that. Next film, Touchstone, rated R. It is called True Identity, and I'm very confused by the cover because I have not actually read the description of this one yet. Nothing in it seemed like it was going to be too hard for me to pronounce, so I just let it go. Here we go. After a long series of discouraging auditions, an aspiring black actor, Miles Pope, takes a flight home. When his plane begins to crash, the passenger in the seat next to him confesses that he is an infamous mob boss, Frank Lucchino, a man the FBI believes to be dead. The airplane eventually lands safely, but Miles's relief is short-lived. He's the only man alive who knows the truth about Lucchino, and he soon becomes the target of a contract hitman. Forced to hide his true identity under a parade of new disguises, including changing his skin color to white. You guys, I can't. Okay. Miles sets out to protect his life, reveal the crime lord's secret, and realize his dream of being a great actor. Do I need to say anything? Do I need to? Wild. That's what I'm going to say. I honestly, yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. Concept seems, I see where they were going. Basically, like I get it. And honestly, that's a really good way to be a completely different person, but why? I'm perplexed by this whole thing. They could, he could have just like Whoopi Goldberg'd it, become a nun. What are they called? Not nuns. I don't think he can become a nun. What are they called? I don't remember. I'm picturing it like a monk. Can hide him with the monks. Moving on. I can't save this. Moving on. It's a movie called Paradise. It's a Touchstone film. A troubled 10-year-old boy, Willard, great movie, great name, who wonders why his father hasn't come home for about 3 months, is packed off by his mother to stay with friends in a rural town of Paradise. This kid's just getting traumatized left and right. Painfully shy Willard discovers that his new guardians, Ben and Lily Reed, are having deep problems too. The couple is still grieving over the accidental death of their son and is tearing them apart. Willard's presence eventually becomes a healing catalyst for the troubled pair, and they, in turn, along with a sensitive little girl, Billy, help Willard prevail over his greatest fears. It's sorry, carpal tunnel moments. It's hopefully a feel-good movie, but like I really do feel bad for Willard overall. Also, this family that lost their child. This whole movie sounds traumatizing. But I hope it's like super sweet in the end, you know? Next movie, it's called Deceived, Touchstone film. After 6 happily married years, Adrienne Saunders thinks she has it all. But after a bizarre tragedy in which her husband Jack is apparently killed, she is faced with a series of perplexing mysteries about the man she loved and thought she knew. She discovers a web of deceit along with some shocking truths. Evidence of murder, art forgery, and theft threaten her own life and that of her daughter. Sounds like it'd be pretty good. Also, quit deceiving people. You know what I mean? Like, just be truthful. It's not hard. Just be truthful. A Touchstone film. It's Ernest Scared Stupid. And it is after accidentally using a magic spell to revive a slimy troll, Trantor, who was condemned centuries before by a Worrell ancestor. Bumbling Ernest P. Worrell enlists the aid of Old Lady Hackmore, the town eccentric, to dispose of the creature, break the curse, and make the town safe for children once again. Ernest's just out here doing everything for everybody, okay? Can we just appreciate Ernest? Thank you. Also, can we appreciate Jim Varney? Because honestly, he reminds me so much, like him and Jim Carrey are very similar, where they use their face and their crazy facial expressions that they can do to convey a bunch of things in their, like, through their comedy. 10 out of 10. And yes, I also love Jim Carrey. 10 out of 10. All right, Touchstone rated R. It's called Billy Bathgate. Young Billy, a streetwise kid from Bathgate Avenue in the Bronx, is convinced that success will come to him only if he's able to join mobster Dutch Schultz's gang. No. Billy, don't do that. Don't do that. Starting out as a flunky for the crime ring, he soon graduates to trusted confidant, only to find danger as his mentor's power and control wane. In an underworld populated by ruthless characters, it takes all of Billy's wits to survive and to save the life of Drew Preston, with whom he has his first love interest. Billy. Make better choices, Billy. That's all I can say. Next film, Beauty and the Beast. Do-do-do-do-do. It literally doesn't give me a description on here. So, you know, Belle, she's just sick of this little provincial town, and she needs excitement. Well, she gets it because her father gets kidnapped, and then she goes to rescue him, but then she trades places with him, and then she's in this castle, which, girl, you're in that castle. And I'm sorry, the library, dream. Although, yeah, it's a little weird with the whole human and the beast thing, and then the prince becomes back into a prince, and all is well, and the furniture's not furniture anymore, and like Mrs. Potts and Chip become people, and while he was the cutest little teacup, like, you get it. He needs to be a human. Yeah. It's a great movie. It's my sister's favorite Disney movie. But yeah, no, great movie. If you haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, like, where have you been? I have not seen the live action. I did start to watch it because I recorded it, and I got up into the, oh, what is her name? She's the armoire. I got to that part. That's where I got. And then I needed to go to bed. And then I was like, I'll pick up on this tomorrow. That never happened. So, haven't seen the live action, but I've seen the cartoon plenty of times, and it's wonderful. You guys, this is the last movie from 1991. I've been recording for 41 minutes. You see why this is only to 1994? Goodness gracious. Father of the Bride. It's a Touchstone film. And it says it's got Steve Martin, Diane Keaton, and Martin Short in there. Like, 3 times you're correct. Good job. After 22 years of being a father to his little girl, Annie, George Banks finds it hard to cope with the fact that she's grown up and ready to marry. 22, I mean, she's young, but like a lot of people get married at that age, don't they? Sorry, I have an itch. Don't they? He is unable to warm up to his future son-in-law, Brian, and grumbles every step of the way as the wedding is planned. A flamboyant wedding advisor named Frank only makes matters worse. Eventually, the wedding is held, and George accepts the new couple. Just get over it, Dad. You know? Just get over it. Let these kids kid, okay? They're in love. Just let them love. Moving on. 1992, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but that's like the year that Legends were born. So if you're a 92 kid, just saying, Legends. It is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. It's a Hollywood Pictures movie, and it's rated R. A seemingly sweet woman named Peyton becomes a live-in nanny for warm-hearted Claire. I was about to say Charlie. Claire. But the nanny has actually integrated herself into the family in order to plot vengeance for her husband's suicide, which she blames on Claire. I'm very confused as to why you would blame that on Claire. I'm confused. I've never seen this. If you've seen this, could you explain this to me in the comments? The movie was in 1992, so I feel like it's not really a spoiler if you tell me. Thank you in advance. Next movie. Ooh, Sean Connery. Medicine Man. It's a Hollywood Pictures film. In the Amazon rainforest, a brilliant but eccentric research scientist, Dr. Robert Campbell, is on the verge of a medical breakthrough, a cure for cancer, but he has lost the formula and must now rediscover the elusive serum. Sir. The pharmaceutical corporation sponsoring the research has sent another biochemist, Dr. Ray Crane, to investigate the reclusive genius. A hard-headed female scientist is the last thing Campbell wants around his camp, but Crane refuses to leave and is soon caught up in the quest to find the rare antidote. In the race against time and the upcoming physical destruction of the jungle, the pair climbs to the tops of the tallest trees in what becomes the most exciting adventure of their lives. Sounds great. Plus, you get to listen to Sean Connery talk for assumably 2 hours, so can't be that bad, right? Hollywood Pictures. Blame It on the Bellboy. A quirky bellboy in Venice who has trouble with English homonyms mixes up 3 guests in his hotel with similar sounding names: Orton, Lawton, and Horton. I could see where there could be confusion, causing chaos when each receives instructions meant for another. By the end of the film, everyone has realized the mistake and switches back, all the better for the experience. It seems like it would be very comical to watch. And honestly, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Now this next one, this picture really gets me here. The only name: Michael Caine, Carol Burnett, John Ritter. Oh, we love John Ritter. And Christopher Reeve. I feel like I don't know the rest of these people, but these are some like heavy hitters here. It's a Touchstone film, and it's called Noises Off. A less than stellar American acting troupe attempts to put on a wacky British sex farce entitled Nothing On. The cast lumbers through a last-minute run-through under the direction of the exasperated Lloyd Fellows. Then the camera swings backstage for behind-the-scenes view of the chaos going on there as the actors vent their frustrations and jealousies. The play is shown to an unenthusiastic preview audience who barely sits through a disastrous full production complete with miscues, misplaced props, and missing actors. Thinking that his career will be ruined after the Broadway opening, the director has hidden in a bar until the final curtain when he hears the cheers of approval from the audience. His motley acting crew has somehow turned out a hit after all. I'm not gonna lie, I do love some like John Ritter because Three's Company was like everything. And I say when I was a kid because I would watch TV Land all the time. So all of those, you know, Three's Company, Cheers, Munsters, Addams Family, Mr. Ed, Green Acres. Yeah, I watched all of those. I was a kid who was for sure a night owl and did not like to get up in the morning and could be up till 3 a.m. watching TV Land. And OCD organizing my room because it was always a 2-in-1. So that's what kind of child I was. I was cleaning, organizing, and watching TV Land. Wild times. Wild. Anyway. Next movie. Oh yes, Miss Dolly Parton. James Woods is in this too. I'll give him credit where credit's due. Dolly Parton. It's called Straight Talk. It's a Hollywood Pictures movie. Shirley Keaton, a small town dance instructor, gets fired because she spends more time counseling her customers than teaching them to dance. She heads to Chicago to make a fresh start and gets a job as a receptionist at the Windy, WNDY radio station. While looking for the coffee room on a break, she is mistakenly identified as the station's new on-air radio psychologist. Her warm heart and common sense make her an instant celebrity, arousing the suspicions of news reporter Jack Russell, whose secret assignment is to woo her in order to discredit her in a newspaper expose. The more Jack learns about Shirley, the harder he falls for her charms, and he ultimately yields to his integrity, falls in love, and gives up the story. Here's the thing, it's Dolly Parton, and how do you not fall in love with Dolly Parton? The whole world is in love with Dolly Parton. Also, hot take, I'm going to say it because I'm pretty sure it's not on this list anywhere because I think it was from the 1980s. Rhinestone. This movie. I'm going to put it in here. This movie with Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone. I don't care. I love your opinion. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what your opinion is on this one. I love this movie. I have seen this movie a bunch. A bunch. I've also seen Cry Baby with Johnny Depp a bunch. Isn't like the best movie ever? No, but yes. Come on. Come on. Rhinestone. Next movie, it's called Newsies. The young newsboys of New York City are dismayed when, in an attempt to squeeze out more profits for his newspaper, publisher Joseph Pulitzer increases the price they pay for their papers. Led by the spirited Jack Kelly, the Newsies set out to challenge the power of the press bosses and go on strike. With the help of reporter Brian Denton, the Newsies get word of the strike out to the whole city, and other children laborers rally to the cause. Jack himself confronts Pulitzer in a battle of wills. The strike is eventually successful, thanks in part to the intervention of Teddy Roosevelt. It's a musical. Newsies. I also believe, I'm going to lean forward, sorry. I also believe that there is a Christian band called the Newsboys, and I do not know if that is inspirational or not from the musical. Probably not, but just a side note. I don't normally intentionally listen to like Christian rock, but I ran into one of their songs one time and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, and then learned that they were a Christian band, almost like Skillet. And if you didn't know, now you know. Skillet's a Christian band. Yeah, that's Skillet. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case you weren't aware. Because they were really rocking hard when I was a teenager, so just in case. Moving on. This movie, and I have this written so weird on my notes, but it is called Passed Away. It is a Hollywood Pictures movie. During one long weekend, 4 grown children come together under the family roof for their 70-year-old father's funeral. 70 is too young, in my opinion. I said what I said. Each tries to cope with his or her personal failures and the family's expectations. I understand. I get it. Not from my parents, because my parents are great. But, you know, there's other family members that really want to push their expectations on everybody, so I understand. They find themselves confronting each other, past scandals, current secrets, and failing businesses, an unwed mother, and a legal alien. Family friction and turmoil rule as the family prepares for the burial. Honestly, this would just anger me, I'm sure. So I won't be watching it. However, it's probably great. Oh my god, this next movie. You guys, I've talked about a few actors that I absolutely adore. Let me talk about another one. And while I do love Pauly Shore, I do. Brendan Fraser. What is it about Brendan Fraser? I don't know. I do not know. Besides the fact that gorgeous. I mean, duh, that's a given. I'm a girl. I'm just a girl. Okay. But Brendan Fraser, this movie is Encino Man. It's a Hollywood Pictures movie. Let me read you about Encino Man. 2 high school outcasts, Dave Morgan and his best friend Stoney, you can clearly know that Pauly Shore is Stoney, uncover a frozen caveman while excavating a backyard swimming pool. Wild times. They hope their accidental discovery will bring them fame and fortune, not to mention a newfound social status on campus, because, you know, that's what you care about when you find a frozen human in your backyard. When the caveman accidentally thaws out and comes to life, they quickly concoct a scheme to disguise him as a foreign exchange student, so no suspicions would be aroused. Link, as he is called, soon learns to speak, dress, and act like a typical valley boy. Sure does. He sure does. Becoming the most popular kid in school, frustrating Dave and Stoney's goals. As Link learns more about the 20th century, he begins to realize that he does not fit in, but an earthquake suddenly hits, unearthing a frozen cave woman. Link's link to his own past. I can see it in the camera. I was trying to fix that. I love Brendan Fraser. That's it. That's all I have to say. Mummy movies, 10 out of 10. Encino Man, 10 out of 10. Airheads, 10 out of 10. Also, if you watch that movie and you're like, wow, these guys were so young in that movie. You know, because, like, you all picture them in your head, and then you look at stuff like that, and you're like, okay. Yes, Adam Sandler, and I always say Steve Buscemi, but I don't think I'm saying his last name correctly. That guy's amazing, too. Just saying. So is Adam Sandler. But anyway, Brendan Fraser, and no one seems to know that it was, if I didn't own the movie, it'd be like I was having a fever dream, okay? But Monkey Bone. I'm going to pop a picture of it right here. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. Go watch it so you can go downtown while you're in your coma. Go watch this movie. Also, Whoopi Goldberg, like, you know, when she was doing movies back in the day, she plays Death. Just go watch it, okay? And if you don't love Brendan Fraser, we can't be friends, because I clearly love me some Brendan Fraser. Thank you so much. Also, speaking of Whoopi Goldberg, next movie is Sister Act, which is a great movie. When a second-rate lounge singer... Second-rate? Don't be doing Dolores like that. Lounge singer in a Reno casino, Dolores Van Cartier, accidentally witnesses a murder at the hands of her mobster boyfriend, Vince LaRocca. She finds herself on the run. Dolores, the mob? Come on, girl. What's wrong with you? A small cop out to nab LaRocca places Dolores in a witness protection program, hiding her out in a convent of nuns. Sure does. The Mother Superior insists that Dolores, now Sister Mary Clarence, take a job in the coven, and she becomes the new choir director. In no time at all, she has the group singing hymns with the 1960s beat, spurring unheard of attendance at Sunday masses. When Dolores is kidnapped and taken back to Reno, the nuns effect a rescue in the heart of the gambling city. With LaRocca captured, Dolores is free to go on her way, but she stays with the nuns long enough to appear in a special performance for the Pope. It's a banging movie. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, it's great. If you haven't seen Sister Act, please go watch Sister Act. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids, which is definitely different than Honey, I Shrunk Them, so it's the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Wayne Szalinski's new invention is a ray that expands molecules when they come into contact with electricity. With the unexpected experiment being with his own young son Adam, the toddler wanders in front of the ray and before long is 112 feet tall, getting even bigger each time he encounters electricity and heading straight for the bright lights of Las Vegas. I don't want to imagine a giant toddler. You can't yell loud enough to say, don't put that in your mouth, and that stresses me out. Next movie, Hollywood Pictures' A Stranger Among Us. Emily Eden is a New York City police detective absorbed by her career and emotionally detached from the violence she sees in her daily life. Sometimes you gotta be to function. Depends on what you do for a living. Her routine investigation of a missing person report develops into a complex undercover murder case in the, I'm not going to say this right, so in the Jewish community. She meets Ariel, a spiritual young man destined to be the community's next rabbi. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read that sentence. And learns from him the centuries-old Jewish traditions while the two of them struggle with their own growing but forbidden feelings for one another. With Ariel's help, Emily eventually solves the case of murder and diamond theft, and the two of them part ways, each with a better understanding of life in their own distinct worlds. It's kind of sad that they, had to separate in the end, but, I mean, I guess it has a happy ending, you know? Alright, Three Ninjas. Sounds like a cool movie. Three young boys who feel neglected by their FBI agent father spend the summer learning the ways of the ninja from their grandfather. The old man also teaches them to rely upon themselves and each other. But when an evil arms dealer decides to kidnap the boys to keep their father from thwarting his illegal business deals, the boys dodge their kidnappers and realize that the family ties are just as important as their ninja skills. Honestly, I'm really glad that they learned ninja skills, because had they not had those, things could have been a little different. Just a thought. Just a thought. Next movie, The Gun in Betty Lou's Handbag. Betty Lou. What kind of gun was it? A pretty but shy librarian, Betty Lou Perkins, is bored with her small town life. Alex, her police detective husband, ignores her, and her job has become routine and uninteresting. Well, that sounds terrible, Betty Lou. The town is shaken into life by the discovery of a murder victim. When Betty Lou stumbles upon the murder weapon, she decides to confess to the crime, hoping her bold action will grab everyone's attention. Along comes mobster Billy Bowden, who is both intrigued and threatened by the sudden appearance of the new hit woman on the scene. Betty Lou uses her newly gained self-confidence and notoriety to uncover the truth about the murder, and at the same time to show her husband that she refuses to be taken for granted. I'm really sorry, but don't you ever confess to a murder that you did not commit. And don't murder people. I got sidetracked in the don't do that, but don't do that either. I think it should really go without saying, but with as much true crime as there is these days, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it needs to be said. Don't do that. Either one of those things. Thank you. Moving on. It's a touchstone movie. It's rated R. Crossing the Bridge. Three teenage buddies, tempted by the promise of a lot of cash, tempts me sometimes, confront their values and ethics when a pal asks them to smuggle drugs across the U.S.-Canadian border bridge. I won't go that far. When the boys discover the package contains heroin instead of the promised hashish. What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay. They come to realize that their actions and the potential consequences may well affect them for the rest of their lives. Yes, you could hurt a lot of people doing that. Don't do that. Don't smuggle drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't be near drugs. This just reminds me of the posters we had back. Dare to be different. Don't do drugs. Thank you. All right, next movie is called Serafina. Another Whoopi Goldberg movie. I've never seen this one. Set in turbulent South Africa, the movie tells of a young student in Soweto. I'm going to put it on screen. Who is inspired by teacher Mary Mashimbuko to take pride in herself and her heritage. Yes. When Mary is sent to prison for stepping outside the prescribed curriculum, Serafina and her schoolmates must choose between violence and nonviolence means of protest. Always nonviolence. Don't put your hands on people. A school musical production celebrated the life of Nelson Mandela with Serafina in the lead eventually does take place amid the burnt ruins of the schoolyard. It sounds like a lot. It's probably a great movie. Maybe not something I want to watch. I'm stressed. Next movie, and I'm looking at this. Kurt Russell and Martin Short. I have seen this movie. Also, I love Martin Short, so. Fun fact, there's a 1992 version of Alice in Wonderland that was done by Hallmark. In said version, Whoopi Goldberg plays the Cheshire Cat, and Martin Short plays the Mad Hatter. And if I can find pictures, I will insert them. I'll look some up. Don't you worry. And if you have not seen this movie, there are other big names in this. But don't expect me to pull them all out right now because I can't. If you have not seen this movie, it's great. For a live action version, I recommend you go watch that. It does follow the book. So, if you just, in case you're curious, thought you should know. All right, Captain Ron. It's a Touchstone film. Floundering in the seas of stress, corporate executive Martin Harvey dreams of glamour, adventure, and nonstop cruises when he inherits his uncle's yacht. I wish I had an uncle that could inherit a yacht. I'm telling you, I don't do water, so I'd sell it off. That's a win-win for me, you know. But when the family cast off, they soon discover the newly acquired craft is badly in need of an overhaul. Of course it is. That would be my look too. Not knowing where to turn, the Harveys find their chance in a spontaneous adventure resurfacing when they encounter Captain Ron. A bedraggled is the word they use, and dreadlocked, happy-go-lucky professional seafarer with dubious nautical skills. He is something. Even though the Harveys worry about Captain Ron setting a bad example for their children, a trip with him brings exciting adventures when gorillas and pirates and a newfound respect for the bumbling sailor and his carefree nature. It really is a great movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Because it's just fun. Who doesn't like to have fun? Also, this next movie, I didn't know Emilio Estevez was in it. So, you know. And this is called The Mighty Ducks. I'm sure you've all heard of this. It's Disney's first entry into the realm of professional sports. And then it says, as a description, in 1992, the company founded the Mighty Ducks hockey team, named for the team in Walt Disney Pictures, the Mighty Ducks, as an expansion team in the National Hockey League. They were ready for league play in the 93-94 season, and their first exhibition game was held on September 18th, 1993. They played at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California. Basically, the Mighty Ducks is a team of ducks. I'm just kidding. It's a team of hockey players. They go the distance. Trials and tribulations. Okay? But then Disney was like, we're going to go a step further. Let's create an actual team. Sounds like a good time. It is a good time. You should go watch Mighty Ducks. All right. This is a Hollywood Pictures film, and it is rated R. It's called Consenting Adults. As long as everyone's consenting. A happily married couple, Richard and Priscilla Parker, is tantalized by the lifestyle of their new neighbors, Eddie and Kay Otis. Richard is lured into an overnight wife-swapping arrangement with Eddie. The next morning, the police discover Kay apparently brutally murdered with Richard's fingerprints all over the murder weapon. With the help of a sympathetic detective, Richard discovers that Kay is still alive and must race against time in order to save the life of his own wife from the real killer. That sounds wild. I've never heard of this movie before. I'm trying to see who's in here. Kevin Kline. Yeah, I want to... It has on here as a quote, a sexy thriller. I don't know how... Okay. A sexy thriller. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Next movie is Aladdin. We all know Aladdin. Aladdin falls in love with that princess, you know, Jasmine. Can show her a whole new world. Has a magical flying carpet. He's got a genie out of a lamp, and it's Robin Williams is a genie, and just the fun never ends. And then a booze, the cute monkey, but then you kind of want to throat punch the parrot, and it's like a whole thing. One of the creepiest villains, you know, Aladdin, because it doesn't give me an actual description, because I guess Disney was like, everybody knows what this is. Everyone's seen it. I have not seen the full live action version, but of course I have seen clips with Will Smith painted blue. Duh. Who's not going to look into that? Duh. Next movie, just The Distinguished Gentleman. It says, oh, it's a Hollywood Pictures film, and it's rated R. When Florida Congressman Jeff Johnson dies, the small-time con artist Thomas Jefferson Johnson scams his own name onto the ballot. Scams his own name. I thought it would say scans, but it says scams. Launching a campaign based on pure name recognition, he pulls off the biggest hustle yet when he manages to get elected. Dang, good for you. He quickly finds, to his delight, that he is raking in sums he never dreamed of without doing anything illegal. Okay. I mean, it started illegal, though. But when Thomas becomes aware of the effect of Congress's greed on the public and the plight of a little girl in particular, he decides to turn the tables on Washington's business as usual and shakes the establishment to its foundations. It's an Eddie Murphy movie I've never seen, but I'm sure it's a good time. Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America. Just another one for the list, you know? Certain people just don't make bad movies. Last movie for 1992, Muppet Christmas Carol, doesn't actually give me a version of this. It's a musical version of A Christmas Carol with Muppets. Scrooge, Meanie Butt, visited by three spirits, becomes the nice guy of the neighborhood, and it's done with Muppets. Kermit the Frog is Bob Cratchit. Miss Piggy is Miss Cratchit. Gonzo and Rizzo narrate. Rizzo is Rizzo the rat. Gonzo is Charles Dickens narrating his own story. It's a great movie, and you should watch it if you haven't seen it. 10 out of 10 recommend. I watch it every Christmas season. Every year. See you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe for more of this shenanigans, and we're going to get there together, okay? I hope you guys have the best day, and I will see you in the next one.